Hi, this is Eric from Sunnyside Christian Church, and this is the cutting room floor. And we're talking about some material that I didn't get to put in the last week message, and maybe a little bit about what we're going to do this week. But in Joshua chapter 5, there's a little passage of scripture there that I find very interesting that I really wanted to spend some time on, but didn't have the luxury of it because we had a lot to cover. And the next couple of chapters after that. When Joshua was by Jericho, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a man was standing before him with his drawn sword in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, "Are you for us or for our adversaries?" And he said, "No, but I am the commander of the army of the Lord. Now I have come." And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshiped and said to him, "What does my Lord say to his servant?" And the commander of the Lord's army said to Joshua, "Take off your sandals from your feet, for the place you are standing is holy." And Joshua did so. Joshua chapter 5, verses 13 through 15. So here we go. There's a story where Joshua is coming up to the city of Jericho. They've crossed the Jordan River. They're ready to attack, but Joshua is getting all of his battle plans ready in his mind. Thinking about how he's going to do this, and I would imagine he's praying about it and asking God to guide him. And there's a fellow standing over there with his sword drawn, and Joshua walks up to him and I imagine he would probably have some guards and some other people with him, and said, "Hey, who are you? Are you for us or against us?" And the answer is classic. He just says no. That's all he says. He says no. And then he says, "I am the commander of the Lord's army, and I'm here." In other words, Joshua, he says, "I'm not on your side. I'm not on the enemy's side. I'm just a servant of the Lord." And the question is, are you on the Lord's side? Now, the reason I love that response is because for centuries, ever since the church started, and for thousands of years prior to that, God's people have been fussing. They've been fighting amongst each other. They've been divided. History proves that. The Bible proves that. And our own experiences prove that. We know that we are a people who, if we spend any time together at all, are going to end up disagreeing. And what happens is we draw sides, right? We here in Colorado are pretty passionate about our sports. You're either a Broncos fan or you're a loser, okay? You're a Nuggets fan, or we have hockey here. We have it all, and so we're a very, very sports-minded state. And so the battle lines get drawn pretty quickly when you start talking about sports, and it goes into other things, occupations, whether you're a blue collar or you're a white collar, and so we so easily draw lines as human beings. It's just part of who we are. It's part of being competitive as a man, and it goes on and on and on. And that may be okay in some arenas of life. But when it comes to the Lord, there's only one side. And all you got to do is, a quick search on the internet, and you can find that there are those who think they're the only ones who are right, and they're the only ones going to be in heaven, and everybody else is wrong. There are those who go to the other extreme and say, well, we're all right, and it doesn't really matter. And that's not true either. So the real question is, not whose side are you on? Are you on this denomination side or that denomination side, or do you side with that ministry? Do you decide with that church? And all these people that badmouth the church or badmouth this ministry or badmouth that work. Man, I don't know if I'd want to be there or not. What I want to make sure is that am I on the Lord's side? That may sound a little bit cliche and a little bit kind of punky, but it's real. And that's what we ought to concern ourselves with. And so what we're going to do this week as we move into Joshua and his battle at a place called Ai, where one of the men of Israel and his family mess up real bad. And they do some things that cause the whole nation to suffer. And what's the result of that? And what that does is, in the end of the day, is it draws everybody together, as we're going to see. It forces them into the question of, are we together on the Lord's side or not? It's not that I'm on your side or you're on my side. We're not going to be divided about anything. But the question is, are you on the Lord's side? So that's just some things to think about. Again, this is Eric, and this is Cutting Room Floor. Have a great day.